Hi, I'm Anna and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss Gasoline Dreams by Simon Panna. This is an adult non-fiction graphic novel, you'll understand in a minute, about petroculture. So everything regarding fuels, non-renewable sources of energy, and everything that has to do with the petrol culture. Well, you understand what petroculture means. Now, there's a huge thing, and there are a lot of things to talk about today, so bear with me, please. To be a graphic novel, I thought the topic was not ideal for a graphic novel, although it's essential for society to be clear on what the point is and what's important about this topic. We are abusing nature. It's so important that we start caring a lot more about the environment, and we don't stop to think how much we use natural resources and how much fuel is part of our lives. I mean, the phone I'm using, the platforms I'm uploading to the process of uploading, having a computer, light, like we're using petrol for nearly everything. And we don't even stop to think about that. I mean, that I get that. It was important. That's why I requested the graphic novel. It caught my attention to see there was a graphic novel about that topic, and I immediately wanted to read it. Now, there's a thing. The author is an artist and an educator. Well, he's not really... I don't know what type of educator that is, because there are different types of teachers. But then there are certain issues here to try and teach people. I think it has a lot of hatred and fear, but I understand where it comes from and I understand why. But I don't think that's a way to get to most people. I don't know if that makes sense, because it's not easily approachable. So there's another thing, and is that it's very overloaded. It's incredibly overloaded with either images, text, or both. Let me show you a couple of examples here. So I'm not sure what the percentage of images is, but every image is really dense. It's so hard that it takes you a very long time to get to read this graphic novel, and I believe it's like 208 pages. So a graphic novel that takes you days, that nearly put me into a reading slump. Maybe it was me, but personally I believe it shouldn't be too charged with information, and it was too aggressive as I see it. Now let's talk about certain assumptions and things that are said throughout the book. The writing style is as if you were reading a very heavy history book, full of citations from formal sources, which is nice, but for that I could read, I don't know, a very heavy book that I know is non-fiction, or I could read an article, a scientific article, and that would be fine. But no, this is a graphic novel, and citations are within the graphic novel, either literal or paraphrased, but it's too much, it's all the time, it's constant, it's continuous. You not many times get to feel, or at least I didn't, that the author is really talking to you. He also assumes there are certain films that refer to this petroculture. He mentions The Shining. Why? He also mentions Taxi Driver, and I remember another one, Aliens. And he's assuming that certain scenes or certain topics, and there's another film, but I forgot the title, but you know, it's like, he's assuming constantly that in certain things he's seeing references to petroculture. And they're not so obvious, you know, it's like they could not exist. They may not be such. Like, I believe he's making so many assumptions that are not necessarily true. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying they could not be. I'm saying it's different saying that I feel this, or I see this as a reference to, or I could make a parallel between these and what happens in petroculture, this fact, but no, he's saying the film expresses this or that. I think that's a lot of assuming. Now, he mentions something that, I'm a psychologist, and from this, about to be, and this made me uncomfortable. He's obsessed with Sigmund Freud, and even though I'm not saying psychoanalysis or psychoanalysts, currently called psychodynamics, are wrong or completely wrong, if he wants to prove a point, he should come from a scientific point of view. He's talking about the thanatos and that drive and the drive to die and whatever things. This is as simple as this: evolution. We're humans. Nothing is strange in this level of excess. We're humans. Humans are, at the moment, the dominant species. And dominant species, evolution theory, tend to seek somehow self-destruction and the destruction of their environment, just because they think at some point they're too powerful and they think they can overcome anything and they can destroy anything, they can do anything they want with their environment, whatever surrounds them. And that's how they get exterminated, but that's typical for dominant species. He could have taken evolution theories he's mentioning Sigmund Freud, and you know, this made me suspicious, because it was a lot easier, if he wanted to prove a point, to go straight to science and don't need to go so aggressively against something that, again, I understand why, but I believe there are better ways to get to people. And the language was quite technical at times. It goes too deep in aspects that people don't necessarily know about. So people may not be ready readers. If he wants to get to a higher amount of public, readers are not necessarily so knowledgeable. So I believe he's missing like introduction to certain topics, but in an easier way, in a way that is easier to digest for people. He mentions the need also related to that excess and stuff. He mentions a psychopath with PTSD. That's not necessary. We're humans. That's what we are. That's what we do. Destroy. Seek and destroy. There's a song. Yeah, Metallica, I believe. So, you know, that's it. Seek and destroy. That's what humans are. You don't have to go ahead and find a psychopath and find someone with PTSD. That I don't think actually calling out somebody with PTSD in this way would be correct, because it's a mental health issue. I mean, I don't know. But I disagree with that. Now, the typography made it so hard at times to read also. It was impossible to read from a distance. You had to get very close to the screen, because I was reading it on PDF. That's how I could download it from NetGalley. It made it also even harder to digest. So in a sense, it was kind of very baroque. So even though, to summarize, even though the topic is essential, it's important, I believe it could have been done in a better way to be able to approach more people with this essential topic and make them conscious and aware of what happens around them, and try to use less petrol. So this was my review for today. I'm sorry I don't have a higher rating, but I gave it 2.5 stars just because of all the things. I was in between 2 and 3 because of the topic, 2 because of everything I've said. So I thank you so very much to NetGalley and the publisher for allowing me access to this book, to this arc, so I could review it. And I'm sorry I cannot have a better rating this time. Again, this is all my opinion. You could read it and love it. I hope you do. If you're interested in reading it, if it appeals to you. That's all from me today. And if you liked this video, don't forget to click like down here, comment, let me know what you think about what I said, what you think about the graphic novel, if you've read it. If not, if you're thinking it could be for you, because it certainly could be for other people. It just wasn't for me. And if you like my videos, don't forget to click subscribe down here and click the bell for notifications. And I hope to see you soon back here. And I hope you're having a wonderful time. Bye!